finds another one. Now it's all down to Shrimzy, alive out in the blue zone, watching it all go awry in front of him. But it is also going to be Gen G right now in trouble next to BC, and more point potential coming up for them. GK looks like they're just going to send it into the center of the circle, and that's going to be right on top of Gam. 17, that's not going to work out well. Lots of people starting to fall. Just 2 players for GK alive, and they are entrenched in a position that feels absolutely terrible. New contenders on approach. Myth to the north going to eat up a little bit of a distraction of what's going on over here, as at least GK can stop for a second, and it feels like 17 kind of lost where GK landed out in the mix of all that rush.
I just don't know that there's much Tgltn can do here on his own. He is surrounded. He has a lot of players who kind of have vision into him. A good grenade could be a difference maker. It's decent, but not good enough. Looking to throw some smokes over towards ZJ to try to go for that res. Meanwhile, 17 has been stalled out. They're not able to get into a position to punish this just yet. Maybe this grenade could be close enough. We'll see.
Falcons now down and out. Shrimzy surrendered to the blue zone. Nothing to be done, so it is going to be BC nipping at their heels, just 4 points behind. Na'Vi trying to push their lead even more, and Na'Vi's got a great position in this circle. BC is going to have to start pushing their way down through it all, but 17 coming alive at the end of this feels like they're in the midst of a war as everything is just exploding around them.
Yeah, and there were even mortars that started to land in their vicinity, so making things just that much more difficult for them. Again, trying to anticipate where the GK players might have gone to. Up on the north side, there's quite a bit of fighting. Myth, Na'Vi making a rotation. Full sense up there as well. Na'Vi is mega split right now. They're at a huge 2-2. I'm not sure that's by choice. They're pinned down between a couple different teams. Oh, that grenade was almost devastating.
Gotta be careful. Follow-up does connect. Doesn't get the knock onto Hakatori, though, so Myth, who made this desperation push. Remember, there is a 2-2 split for Na'Vi, and the southern section's entirely surrounded, so it's just this northern section having to deal with everybody on Myth in front of him. Can he get the nade into the right spot? Nade starting to roll back, goes a bit too far. His looks pretty good. Does connect and get some damage, doesn't get the knock, but it's gonna be Shadow at range. Jexy gets the knock onto Hakatori.
Yeah, Hakatori had a grenade in hand. Lucky to not fall to that, but it might not matter. Too much boosting on a sliver of the health, at least outside of the blue zone. So isn't going to take any damage from that BZ nade. And he is going to throw down some more smokes to try to see if he can get Hakatori back into play, but he's bleeding out.
There's not much to be done on the outside of this as well. VC just trying to limp their way into the circle. Only one player still alive. It's going to be T1 still also right on top of Myth, but they haven't gotten involved just quite yet. Shadow just continues to take those peppering shots right in the backside. What's going on with Boostic, and he knows he is trapped over here. He's just down in the trenches and going to have to fight with anybody. It's a field back behind him that's going to be controlled by Gam as well as 17, and Gam's already taken a couple of shots over here. They know with all the smokes down, the explosions, and now Boostic knows that he's got the BRDM in front of him. This is just survival mode. That's all he can do. See if he can stall out everybody for as long as possible, make it more complicated for everybody into the northwest, so that way it relieves some of the pressure for the duo that's playing in the east.
Yeah, it's really kind of a hopeless situation in a way, but still could do a lot of damage. Could boost it to some of these other teams. Myth, though, with this BRDM trying to make their way further forward, that still has quite a bit of health. So they're not going to be too scared about some of these bullets bouncing off of it just yet, but they've lost Kiss along the way. They're getting out to take the fight, and they're going to get one.
T1 trying to be opportunistic, finding something. Raining gets knocked onto Scappy as well. Heather just unloads. He goes down. It is just Baron in the BRDM. The last one's up, and he's got to try to get to the circle. Type's going to be right next to him. Perfectix also providing some overwatch. 17 going to be trying to gatekeep on the angle. Team Liquid watching it as well. Shadow using the opportunity to run into the circle. So that's going to be less people over here, and the crossfire just comes out. Myth goes down.
Yeah, they did quite a bit of damage to T1, though, and that's actually opened up a lot of space here for Boostic to maybe survive out of all of this. Grenade splashing around his Shadow. They've got AGAL there out on the edge. The molly looks like it might have connected to somebody onto AGAL. Indeed, Salalzi there. AGAL gone. Nice hold from Shadow.
Na'Vi also in the compound right on top of Shadow. Yes, VP is still alive, guys. They're just down to the south. They've got the fields in front of them and the compound. Team Liquid's trying to keep them out, as it is still just Na'Vi fishing with Dynamite to see if maybe they can pick up a knock or a kill off of that. But this duo feeling a bit more vulnerable. Taking those shots with the nade, though, and dropping it right on top of Shadow did force them on a new angle. That opened it up for Boostic. So suddenly the three-man comes back together, and wow, is that fun. Boostic just gets instantly knocked. Na'Vi fishing with Dynamite to see if maybe they can pick up a knock or a kill off of that. But
awful position. Full sense now, going to try to capitalize on the weakened Na'Vi squad.
On a new angle, That
just the
opens it up
very
for
edge
Boostic.
of this
So
compound for
suddenly the
themselves.
three-man comes back together, and Boostic just gets instantly
Flash trying to push a little bit further forward. That's the Scar in hand, looking for those Na'Vi players, but they're dug in. They don't need to go out just yet. That's a really good grenade that almost gets the knock on to Flash. Tigger up on the roof, trying to do what he can to find an opportunity. Got a spot on the fair, and that grenade was hooked. Oh, it wasn't. Flash trying to push a little bit
just
further
needs
forward.
a point, and then they'll be
That's the
tied up with
Scar in
T1.
hand,
Continuing raining down nades on top of Na'Vi. The circle's popped, and it's just on the other side of this compound. Full sense, though, better be careful. Looks like it's going to be VP on the hunt for more back behind all of this, starting to take a couple of shots. Beamy's got himself a nice angle of approach on top of Full Sense, and suddenly Na'Vi's going to find themselves with some friends from Europe. Nixie gets the flush and a knock, and this is starting to feel really good for VP. Is Miramar the game for them?
That was one of the best throws I have seen. Nixie up and over from downtown, taking out players from Full Sense, and here goes Beamy, he wipes them out.
Just VP doing it to him right there. Navi's got to get into the circle. Gam's got it under control to the north. 17's got a player in, but looming quietly into the west. It's still a full-strength Team Liquid as we've got 15 alive, and 3 of them are VP players.
Yeah, well, this is now kind of, everybody's in a weird spot because they actually can't really punish VP. Na'Vi would have to sled uphill to try to get close enough to them to take a proper fight. Everybody else on the west side is busy fighting each other. Gam is completely blocked out by 17. Team Liquid just trying to play this slow and cautious to clear their edge. So for right now, VP, all eyes down onto Na'Vi while this fight on the west side just continues to break out.
They know the target that they need to deal with in front of them. Team Liquid on a climb of their own, creeping up the leaderboard, still just a little bit back behind Gam, who's got themselves in the northwest. The Team Liquid has a great high ground position. You can see Cowboy up on top, looking at a lot of what's going to be going on. This is very vertical coming down. Beamy does spot out Ferris, gets the knock. Should be able to get the flush. Where does the last player in Spyro go? It's Team Liquid. Great shots coming up from Cowboy. Suddenly VP in a lot of trouble.
Cowboy, he needs to get this flush, and it looks like he should be able to, you would think. Beamy trying to dance around it, cannot. That is huge for everybody else in this event.
Nixie.
Ooh, it's so close.
Ooh. All right, narrowly gets over there. That is also going to be Na'Vi going down 114 points. They are on a climb, to say the least. So it's Gam, due north, kind of hunkering down, hiding it out while they've got 17 right on top of them. 17 can't really go anywhere. It's going to be Team Liquid on top of all this, watching it. They've got control on the entirety of the circle. VP's trying to use this opportunity to counter move more up against the top of the hillside to see if they can get a better spot, but it's going to be Team Liquid with a focus on a 17.
Having to take a brief moment to go for some heals. And Cowboy with a nice grenade there. Purdy Curdy immediately follows up with the flush. So 17 on to just Wembo, but he's got an M249.
Slow back down the pacing. Wimbo knows that they're going to be playing this one. Gam's still just sitting there quiet. I don't know if they pulled their triggers in a while. Could just pop off in a moment. Nobody's expecting. Wimbo starting to play other side and smokes. Goes, unloads. He goes down. Kurt knows how the LMG works and counterplays it perfectly. So now it's to the west. Team Liquid's got control over the circle, and they know where Gam is. That shack does not feel good. It's been abandoned by the circle. Crexy one side, 3 players for Team Liquid on the other.
This would have to be an absolutely insane finish for VP to claim their title right here. It's going to be very, very tricky with only 2 players with Gam in an unbelievably bad spot to try to get out of. They're going to make their break, see if they can get out of jail, but Team Liquid looking to keep the cell doors closed, and they're already lighting them up.
What we're really watching right now, though, is Nixie starting to move up the hillside. This the southern section that we've got Alo and Cowboy for Team Liquid. They're trying to keep lock on the circle itself. If Nixie can get an opportunity to go for anything on the Team Liquid that can counter all of this. But yes, it is presently a 2v4 as we see the res starting to come up from Team Liquid, and Gam just, hey, what are you going to do?
Not much.
Yeah, but it really matters maybe which way they peek, because Team Liquid would really like those points, but Crexy says, nah, that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, they're just damned if they do, damned if they don't. Anything they do is just absolutely treacherous at this point. So really, it's going to come down to this 2v4, you would think. The Virtus Pro has a little bit of an established position, and meanwhile, Team Liquid's starting to fan out. I mean, I think as Team Liquid here, you just kind of group up and just sweep. You don't really need to overextend. You just put like a 3-1 split or something like that. Crexy's going for the bolt here, though.
I mean, it's big if they get the knock when they need it. The entire lobby hoping that VP falls here and that Team Liquid can do it. Just now 1 point back behind Myth. 2 points back behind GAM, so big climb potential coming up for Team Liquid at the tail end of all of this. But VP, if they get this, they get it all. They clinch it up. Smash rolls are big. Can Corexi with the Bolty get the knocks when they need it? Creeping forward, not really finding much, but the high ground from Team Liquid feels so strong.
Just a little bit off there. Tough with a 3x for Corexi. Has to prone to keep himself out of Team Liquid's sightlines. I mean, Nixie trying to just spray into the smokes, do what damage he can, try to keep Team Liquid pinned by that blue as long as possible. Both these teams pretty equidistant to the center of the circle. Smokes are down.
I love that smoke coming up from VP. Denies the high side on the hill, so they get to focus a bit more down. Corexi's putting in the work, but not getting the knock just yet. Nixie, he's wanting to go closer range with this. He's wanting to move into their face. You can see that it's pretty bad as far as utility and everything else goes. Nick's coming around the side. Corexi going for it. Alo gets the better. It is just Nixie up, fighting for it. He gets one, leans back into the smokes, but mollies are falling all around him. Goes for the shot, does get the knock onto Alo, but it doesn't matter. Team Liquid clutches it up.
Oh boy, they got real close, did Virtus.pro, but Liquid managing that late game very, very nicely. Cowboy finding that big kill onto Beamy to put Virtus.pro just down to 2 to really narrow their options and opportunities. So a big win here for Team Liquid. That's going to put them up to 12th place overall in the leaderboard.
Oh my God, man, VP is just so crazy. They make it to the end game just over and over and over again. They played pacing on that game so great. They let everybody to the north fight. They just swoop in from the south at the most opportunistic time, start finding the kills, ruin Navi's day, and just make sure that their closest competitor goes down by their own hand.
Yeah, honestly, one of the most impactful moments in that game happened very, very early on where Lucarux died to T1, and that actually was a huge difference in that game potentially where maybe VP is 3 instead of 2, and it's a completely different situation.
And Falcons right now rejoicing because Team Liquid, the other guys from America right now, really helping them out. It feels like Falcons are just chasing circles, man. They cannot find anything that feels good for them. The pressure is continuing to mount, and they just can't find any success right now. They need a big game as Na'Vi has just usurped position while they found near on nothing.
Yeah, man, it's been really, really intense there at the top of that leaderboard. I mean, we've seen a bunch of swings already, and who's in what position from that 2nd to 5th place spot. There's a lot of jockeying for position in the middle of the pack.
It's all a mental battle right now. That's really what it comes down to. When you're a squad like Falcons or even VC that's in the hunt behind all of this, you just got to constantly keep correcting your mental, get preparations for it, be leaning in, knowing exactly how all of this is going to go down. And on the other side of it, Na'Vi, it feels like they're even getting like more comfortable the longer this goes on. This is a squad with Hackatory we know can really rip somebody apart, and there is the potential of a 25-point game looming back behind VP if they're not careful.
Oh yeah, that's just it, and then that potentially puts them into the threshold position. Yep. So that's kind of what you're looking at here is if Na'Vi can have some big games. We're halfway through the day. There's only 3 more games to go. The lead very comfortable for Virtus.pro. Now it's just about either getting that win or making sure that no one else has that opportunity to hit that threshold.
Maybe 3 games to go. Who knows?
Maybe.
At max, there's 3 more games to go as we're going to be getting into the tail end of all of this. Of course, moving back in, it's going to be Rondo next, then Tego, then back to Erangel to finish it all out. So there's so much eyes on the top of it. Oh my God, VP, can you get it off of a chicken dinner, or are we going to see somebody try to sneak it away from you? We've got to get the next game ready to go.
He can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing. Let's go! Tyler Wine, you're done.
VP so close to being able to close it out. Godspeed, Lays, Toffees, and the 7WG here for you. Oh, if only GAM would have just decided to take the fight, maybe find an opening for VP to third party. We could have been talking about a winning championship match right
Nixie
there.
had 7 bullets left at the end of that game. Corexi was basically bolting. They really didn't have much left going for them. But hey, the crazy thing is that they still made it to the end game. They still got 2nd place. They still got even more points, which is pushing that gap farther. So, I mean, they were close on their worst map. Their that's what EB himself said is their worst map.
Yeah, I was sort of going to capitalize on that as well. But, like, I mean, they were in such a great position from, like, the beginning. They had that southern side to themselves, placement in their favor. And, I mean, all squads were sort of fighting on, like, that northern side. So, you know, they just had to play the patient game. But, you know, of course, they did play it perfectly going up against Full Sense. And then, obviously, eliminating Na'Vi. But Team Liquid had a different story, and they read it too well.
I think Team Liquid had a great spot going in here. They desperately needed those points just to move up that board. And it was one of those things where Liquid was like, we have to win this because every time the VP's out, it's more points for us to climb, more money in the bank. That said, the fact that VP was down to 2 and we are still sitting there going, they could do this, right? You correctly almost gets the headshot. Like, it is wild how good these guys are. And yes, they had the circle. They got a great shift on 5, but then they lost it and had to go up. They had to fight their way to where they were. There is no argument across the board from anyone possible that they did not earn this championship when they win it, because that is what they've proven to me is they were ahead. They had a tough day. They bounced back with a win yesterday, and they came out and proved to us today by getting 10 in the first and this now that these guys are some of the best players, if not the best team in the world.
And even as you were saying, Lace, too, the way that they were able to take the fight with Full Sense was just beautiful. They waited for the right time. They were able to push the action, got those kills as well. VP, you're getting closer and closer. But talking about a squad that was actually able to win this game, which was none other than Team Liquid. Team Liquid finally shows up, and this is a squad that is in the club championship, and they want to get those points. They need to make sure they reach top 8, though.
Yeah, look, Liquid is not winning this event by any stretch of the imaginations, but they sure as hell can get quite far up that leaderboard, and this is a really great start. Going into that last fight, I believe they had 9 kills, maybe even 10 by the end of the game. They got a healthy amount of points, and that should boost them up, because this is huge. Another team I have to mention, though, who's been making the climb, and you say when they win, Steve, Na'Vi might actually overpass VP. The way they've been playing so far, making consistently the enemy, at least getting kills, they're actually closing that gap. So we say when VP wins, unless they close out an actual chicken dinner, Navi's knocking on the door.
I mean, I agree. I hope so. Navi was my pick to potentially win this thing, so I would love to see them come out and win the tournament. I love looking like Nostradamus, but it is a tall order, right? Because VP looks so good. And honestly, after that game, with the amount of points they put on the board with 2 people, and only 3 games left to play, it does feel like Na'Vi would have to have a momentous game. We did say Hakatori's got to pop off. He did. I don't know. What do you think, Lace? Can they do it?
I mean, look, they were going hungry in the start. They were able to, like, you know, get a few KP on Gen G. They're not slowing down, so it's, you know, a different game between VP trying to prioritize getting into circle. But look, Na'Vi are at that point contention, and they're still trying to, like, clear their backs and make sure that they can get those positioning. And I mean, that wipe on Shadow Esports, damn.
For Na'Vi,
I didn't realize the gap was 30.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Sorry.
It's okay though, because for Na'Vi, they're going to be looking at 136 points.
Yeah.
If they reach 136 points before match 6 and BP's not able to close it out, they could end up winning via Smash Zone. And right now, Na'Vi, as you were saying, they are being consistent. They are looking at that threshold of 136
you know, I'm Australian,
points.
I can tell the future, so.
What's most important as well is if you look at that graph, they also have 3 chicken dinners, which means they know how to close out the games here.
They do. I mean, at the end of the day, we saw VP pushing. I said their win condition here is they have to wipe Na'Vi in that house. They got them down. They set themselves up to win in 6. And you're right, Na'Vi now has to reprogram and say, okay, it's not about point passing. It's about hitting threshold and getting a chicken dinner. They have the potential to do that. My other worry is Falcons. They started today with a very big payoff in second, and they've lost already hundreds of thousands of dollars. How far can that go?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Twisted Minds. I feel like, you know, it was their time to get that sort of kill points. But, like, in my opinion, I feel like they played it a little bit too slow for them. Obviously, Gustav got the first kill there and then knocked himself, but was able to have, I guess, eyes on Example, who was sort of holding that corner from them, which could have opened up the fight. But then, you know, of course, the time that it took for them to actually just be able to, like, have those contentions, we had another team in the rotation, so it was just tough on their rotate coming out of that position.
Yeah, and you see Falcons there get eliminated, and I just want you to keep an eye on Tig. I want you to keep an eye on the players too from Falcons, because they're just seeing this slip away at the moment. And this is not, I mean, they are challenging wanting to get to 136 points to challenge for that championship. But once again, we got to talk about Falcons in regards to the club championship. They want to make sure they continue to get those points because they really haven't been able to do that well club championship wise. Falcons is starting to get to them as we see the players in a bit of a distress.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that pressure. I guarantee you, if you ask those guys, they're probably not thinking about the club championships as much as they're purely focused on this, but you're absolutely right. I mean, Falcons are champions in the past of the club championship, and they're an org that absolutely wants to get it here. And so there is that extra added pressure. I mean, you want to talk about in the past, I think it's safe to say, boys and girls, we won't have a repeat champion this year as far as EWC and Twisted Minds.
Damn right. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be VP or Na'Vi if they're able to pick it up and get the 136 points.
Like I said, it's a long push for Na'Vi, and they've got to do it in the next game, essentially, because VP has made a statement to the entire world. They were like, you guys spent too much time talking about Myth. We are the legends. We are going to change the world. And honestly, after how they've played this, even if they for some reason don't win, they're still my pick going forward towards PPC at the end of the year, because these guys are phenomenal.
Safe pick. Honestly, they've been playing this year all great.
It is a safe pick for Falcons. And Falcons, we were able to actually get an interview with Falcons. Let's see what they had to say.
Hey, Claris here with Gunnar from Falcons. After a few difficult games, gonna have to ask you the hard questions, unfortunately, Gunnar, for this one, because it's not been the easiest start for Falcons. Talk to me about what you think might be going wrong here for Falcons.
Sorry, it's hot as balls up there, so I was sweating. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of hard zones. I'm not like going to use that as an excuse, because obviously we definitely could have got more points than we've gotten thus far. I mean, mainly the thing that's gone wrong is that like we haven't stuck to like one structural play. Like our crash on Na'Vi on the Tego game just could have been better. It could have been more organized, since we had a lot of time sitting right below them. And then the last game as well, like we just got to Graveyard, and we just needed to focus on our setup the second we got there. It was pretty unfortunate that we were playing the dip and the church, and we were just getting ready to hold what like we call like the long.
Yeah.
And if we had someone on top of the roof on the long, we should be able to win that fight pretty easily. But yeah, I mean, just some hard zones and some misplays on our part, and obviously like here we are.
It's a tough time with the kind of butterfly effect in PUBG, because obviously as soon as Twisted Minds rocks up on your position, surely the alarm bells are going off, and that's delaying your move in, and then the Vicious is above you. So is that what's going through the team's mind right now? You're listening to the comms. What's happening in the team at the moment?
I mean, honestly, it's like even on the Wrangle game, a lot of teams just aren't moving. Like we want to speed up fights and we want to get them over with. But like the Wrangle game, like Myth is like sacking their game in the blue zone, which inevitably is sacking our game when we're actually trying to take a fight against them. I mean, not that like they did anything inherently wrong, because the zone was not good for them either. It was basically like we were going to get 4 points on them, they were going to get 4 points on us. But yeah, I mean, we just both died. But yeah, I mean, it's PUBG. It's obviously the game's going to be tough. We're going to go out there, reset, and you know, I mean, hopefully get over 20-some points this game.
Thank you very much, Gunnar. Best of luck in the next games.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and we are getting ready to head into our next game here today. Virtus Pro making us hold our collective breath last game as they almost get in a position to secure their win, to secure their championship. But Team Liquid will deny them, and now we have to go over to Rondo. It is Iporosaurus, it is He Avenger, and Virtus Pro now on the clock once again, try to collect that win and end the day early.
15 matches played so far here in the final, and on the grand final day, VP is able to get a second place with kills, putting them on 150 points, averaging 10 points per game. Absolutely insanity here for them. Now they have 3 more chances to either deny a second place to get to that 136-point threshold, or to get a chicken dinner themselves. Poro, 3 games to go. Do they get a chicken dinner, or are we going to go to match 6?
Ooh. That's a tough one, man. I feel like we're probably going all the way. It just feels that way. It feels like every time you see Virtus Pro start to get involved in a fight, especially early, especially if it's in the first 3 circles, then there's always going to be a team that's nearby that immediately will just rush them. And so VP, I mean, you saw it happen last game. They only lost Luka Rux, but they then had to play that game forward as 3 and still almost managed to get a win there coming down to the very end. Felt like they just ran out of ammunition and ran out of space. Team Liquid was able to clutch up. But now they have a little bit of a another problem to worry about, and that's Na'Vi. Na'Vi's been having a burner of a day, and they're what, I think 22 points, he said, removed from that threshold. So 22 more points for Na'Vi, and they're going to be in the same position as VP.
And as we start our game here on Rondo, 3 more chances to go. And you're right, 22 points is what Na'Vi needs to aim for to be eligible to be in that smash position in the second last game. I doubt it's going to happen, though. They're going to be denied by so many other teams as well, because they're the second place team that everyone else is trying to reach up to, from Falcons, from Vicious, and from all the other teams competing here at Esports World Cup 2026. And you know what? With the Virtus Pro win, that could propel Virtus Pro from 11th place to 2nd place in that club championship. They're already eligible from having 2 teams in the top 8, but here with a win would be insane.
That'd be absolutely huge for the org. Hope for the best. We see, looks like teams pretty much avoiding each other. Test Track Neox, this Twisted Minds Na'Vi sharing situation has been going on since time immemorial. Looks like Falcons going all the way down to the south. They have not had any bit of luck go their way so far today. Maybe they can find a little bit more luck here on Rondo. We'll see where the circle decides to go. Wow. It's going to go right on top of Tgltn. So very early start here. And Vicious, another team that's in the hunt, is right there dead center.
And that last game, they were able to breach the triple digits, 101 points. And as you see here right now, Nixie is leading with almost 5,500 damage done. Beamy in 2nd place. And Nixie is leading in the wall kills. Longest time survived. So he's really putting himself in a great spot for that MVP title.
Soul's still trying to make an argument for it, though.
Absolutely.
He's right there. So Nixie,
he's sniffing at the heels of him.
He is. He's right there. So Nixie needs to hear those footsteps, because that's a pretty large prize pool chunk itself for that MVP award. And despite all of Gen G's struggles so far this tournament, sitting in 8th place right now, that would be a huge feather in their cap if they're able to get an MVP nod for their frontman, Mr. Soul. As we check in with VP, they will have to make their way in from the south. Looks like they have AGAL and possibly GK, possibly 17. That will be kind of on that southern side of that zone. And you've also got Falcons just off to their southwest.
And of course, in VP and Hongchang here, such a strong looting spot. One of my favorite ones to go at. It's both fun for hot drops and also great for loot.
Yeah, you like this one?
Lookaroks, and also further head inside the circle here to get that point man information too for them. As we all jump over to Vitality, currently 7th place, 20 points shy of 3rd. It's very doable for this team if they're able to step up. What we've seen from Levante so far and the rest of the guys, we know they're able to clutch. We know they're able to win games. They just need to do it in one of the next 3 ones here. And with this circle being this central on Tgltn, we could end up seeing a pseudo or even a full urban ending. And Vicious being this home turf team to be inside here, it's really difficult city to defend and really difficult city to win games from. So really interested to see how they're going to approach this one here. If they're going to take an edge to southern side or have a split on all sides alongside the edges of this circle here. Seen incredible things from Tgltn so far here, Power, and does feel like he's back to that 2022-2023 level that we knew and loved, and a little bit into 24.
Do you think it almost might be worth for Vicious just to abandon Tgltn altogether and try to maybe move outside of the city to just off center circle and just take a compound that's a little bit easier to defend?
If you would have asked me before we removed Landroser, then yes, because how everything kind of lines up. But with this being dead center, it's super high priority at the inside, and now Liquid's actually pulling up into Gen G.
It's just Bean. And actually Bean, I think it was taking shots over towards Shadow Esports to get them to move away, and maybe Liquid seeing if they can trick Bean into peeking a different window, and instead they'll just pull away, go back over towards Purdy Curdy. They do have Shadow Esports still kind of roaming around. It looks like they escaped off to the north, but it looks like Shadow has found a compound that they're comfortable with. They'll stop down there, and maybe how far south do they want to go? Look how close they are to Vicious now. Vicious. They did kind of stretch out from the city itself, and they've sent Simon T and Powell up here. Powell not really in a support position. Simon T, yeah, he knows they're there. You can see him peeking just to see.
Heard him.
Yeah, he definitely heard him.
Look at that though. No utility, only 2 first aids for him here. But he does have a 3 vest. But no utility, trying to fend off a team coming in on your ridge where it's extremely difficult to get anything out of. As we jump over to Liquid, they have a, or to VP away from Liquid. They have a really easy entry for them to go past Tgltn here and get deeper into the circle. Yeah, they're just trying to, of course, get as many points as possible to make sure that nobody gets close to them if we do go the full distance of those 6 games.
They've kind of taken their time on this rotation, and as a result, AGAL 17, GK, all the potential threats from early on have all moved in more towards the center. T1 also in a drop from that E pickup just on the western side of Tgltn as we check in with Gam. Get a little bit close to Shadow, but not close enough to be too much of a problem as they're able to claim this compound for themselves.
And as much as Shadow has impressed in some games, it's mainly been Miramar they had success on, where they were able to take down AGL and get a chicken dinner. Now they are sitting in last place, not even close to the top 10.
It's been rough, but you know, to be fair, making the final was probably about the most that you could really expect from Shadow. I mean, it's been a fantastic tournament for them. I mean, nobody really had very high expectations, relative unknowns, and they came in and they made the final when a lot of more historic teams with a lot, you know, better lineage, Pubg didn't. So you got to give them all the credit in the world here as we check in with AGAL. Playing around those towers, GK kind of moving around just off to their west. They hear the vehicles. They know they're close, but they don't have vision.
And him is obviously always in that conversation. He's been far and away from anything that happened. 10 was ahead of him in kills. So is Tgltn. He's on 16. Nixie and Soul untied on 31 kills. With 1 more kill, they're gonna double him as his kills here. Now we go to the glider off Kickstart, and Falcons have a UAV inbound as they're gonna be able to see the information coming in on all the cars driving just below them. Geeky, he sees the cars, he has all the information being shared to the rest of the guys, and they're driving far behind him, so he knows exactly how to play around this. I'm gonna swing around just a little bit here, and he's got plenty of gas in that, just above 60% on the gas, so he's gonna have plenty of time for that.
Definitely feels like Kickstart has taken a shine to that role as the eye in the sky for Falcons. Done a great job here as Virtus Pro. They're going to find full sense. Once again, an early fight here for VP, and the trade comes through. Flash will go down to Beamy, though, in return. So 2 knocked here for full sense. VP playing around the trees, but Beamy will find another one. Beamy keeping his team in it, and now full sense down to just 1, but they're getting third party from range by Kiss. This was always the concern. The second they start fighting, a third party is sure to come.
Nixie goes down to Kiss as Kiss starts to get fully involved from this one here. You see 17 once again sniffing at this. They see this in the kill feed. They're activating for a third party, and Myth is also coming in. All these teams that's in the middle of our leaderboard is trying to catch up to the top.
We've seen 17 do it already once today, where they see VP in the kill feed and they immediately collapse onto it, but it looks like this time it's going to be Myth that does it. They're sending all forces, all hands on deck here to try to dispatch with Virtus Pro. They're down to 2, but it looks like actually down to 3. Nixie able to pick up.
Extracting him.
Yeah, they pick up their fallen teammate. I believe that's, Nixie's the one who's knocked. So they're able to retreat to Tgltn as, I'm not sure. Well, I wonder if they were able to get the blue chip. They might be able to.
No, they didn't get it. Lukaruk died as they were driving away from him. So I think the call from Lukaruk was like, okay, Myth is coming in. I'm dead. If you can pick up Nixie that had more health left, would be way more valuable for them. Tanbo goes down to his own nade after he got knocked here, as Navi is now trying to develop this fight here with Gam. More cars are driving in here, and utilities being deployed towards the cars, and Boostic disengaged from that location quickly. Smart play by him. The young prodigy from Navi gets a headshot onto Cloris as well. More damage done, but he runs out of shots, swaps to the SLR, and tries to connect some bullets with 8X.
Goodness gracious, Boostic. almost takes him down. But the good news for Na'Vi is that Gam does disengage off of that fight after Na'Vi pick up one. So they do have this compound. It's off center, but they don't have to worry about anybody trying to third party their fight. They're so off. I mean, they're the most northwestern team, or northeastern team rather, that we have. So, but you can see already hopping in vehicles. They don't want to take the chance of somebody sneaking up on them and taking them by surprise.
Sitting here with fingers crossed.
So many teams inside Tgltn right now.
It's crazy. I'm really having my fingers crossed here for a proper urban and an inside Tgltn. We've seen them so rarely because of the land ratio and how everything worked with all the pillars is just around. And as we see here, they're trying to maybe sniff out a Lukaruk's chip to get him rest. Tgltn is close. There's a rest station there. Myth is potentially trying to deny it. Kiss is standing over here with a Dragonov and with an 8x. He has no extra bullet though. There's just 0 in the spare. Sure, he's playing AUG on the other gun here for the 5.56. Got plenty of that, but is it worth it for Myth to fully deny a potential rest for them? I don't know. It's again, Myth is super far down on the leaderboard. They need as many games as possible played, but they actually have a quite deep and central location already, and now they have hurt them left. VP is definitely trying to sniff out this blue chip as we see this next circle. Tgltn, please, guys. Can we get an urban ending? We do go close. I would say it's a 50-50 right now, but look at the amount of teams that's already posted up inside. Myth is full sending it. They might be greeted by all the teams already inside.
There's so many teams in there, and as soon as Myth gets close, they all start opening up as Virtus Pro.
Look at all that.
Left correctly in the blue. Yeah, look at the, I mean, look at the lines coming through. Hackatory's, of course, Hackatory's going to get the first knock there. As where even is Hackatory? Is he in the city? I see the rest of Na'Vi all the way off to the northeast.
Yeah, they have one building each there, and then like a small square setup in the store, a little bit more central inside Tgltn. A lot of teams on the edge here. They're trying to get ready to kind of leave that. Look at Rooks on screen here. Live from Paris for Esports World Cup 2026, and Virtus Pro on screen trying to, of course, survive the most of it here. And now Myth is playing the edge. After losing Jacob, their IGL that they praise so highly.
It looks like Virtus Pro might be going for it. I think they managed to retrieve Lukaruk's chip, and now it is worth noting that Tigger has been hiding out in Tgltn for quite some time here, all by himself, just eating blue zone damage. I wonder if he was possibly camping the revive station.
They lost some of the players in the fight with VP early. I don't think he managed to get many chips. I think he just went there to try to go get some loot, try to get some heals so he can actually heal it off here, and he doesn't even engage on towards Nixie. He's a couple of 100 meters away, so it's not really worth for them. Now we have Liquid potentially fighting with Gen G here in the northern side alongside the Ridges. And really kind of develops this fight here that Liquid was fighting on earlier with VC, and now it's a new team. Gen G is trying to pull off maybe a drive-by from being here, but setting up for a little bit of a bridge play here, trying to bait some utility potentially. Shots are coming in. It doesn't connect just yet. Just a little bit of damage onto the car.
You can see on your minimap there, Ferris from Na'Vi also looking over in that direction. So Na'Vi could be once again in a perfect position to third party here and collect a few more points. Remember, they have to hit that 136-point threshold to be able to then qualify for the win in this Smash format. They could break the dreams of Virtus Pro if they do so, but that is a tall, tall task ahead of Na'Vi. We'll see what they decide to do here as we get an overview of Tgltn. Still very occupied. Lukaruk's now back in the helicopter, and will join up with the rest of Virtus Pro on the south side.
Just seeing how all the teams are kind of developing here with Na'Vi coming in from the north. They're engaging on to the location of Liquid, trying to pulling up here. Shrimpsy finds Setsuna though. Some other teams are coming in here, and Lukaruk's coming into the city here. Could be him dying quickly. Boostic finds Cowboy for the flush here, as Na'Vi is engaging in the third party onto Liquid and the Gen G.
And Virtus Pro is wrapping right into Falcons. Falcons was a little bit split here. They had retreated to go back and claim their vehicles, and they get there right in time as Virtus Pro is driving past. The sprays come through, but the damage is just not landing. And Virtus Pro is managing to sneak through this. Will able to get to some hard cover for the time being and reset See if they can turn their attention back over towards Falcons. But yeah, look at this. No damage.
The chasing
really came through, but Falcons, yeah, they're absolutely chasing this. Gustav going to send it right in the middle, but nobody is going to get hit. He's going to pull out, try to see if he can maybe find the shots, but Virtus Pro somehow gets to breeze right through that Falcon split.
Absolutely amazing scenes here as we get a proper Sentinel Tgltn ending. We're gonna be having some urban warfare here as everything is developing. So many teams engage with each other. Let's focus on some of the teams that's on screen though. Here Na'Vi, Liquid, and Gen G involved with each other. Boostic finds Luke. More shots comes in. Boostic is low here as Na'Vi, the closest chasing teams, is low. Halo, last player for Liquid, just won a game here, but they could be finishing up.
And now Gam has come up here to try to third party on this. No shots taken so far. They're just hovering around as Team Liquid down to A-Low, but he's playing inside that Pagoda. Looking around to see if anybody peeks their head. Boostic going to retreat in as he hears the engines come through. Gen G sniffing around, want to make sure they at least secure these knocks that they've managed to secure or get themselves. Grenade come through, but A-Low on the other side. Stay alive for now. Another one well cooked will drop down. Will avoid A-Low once again.
It's kind of an off spot here now. Shots come in.
There it
Bean
is.
finds him. Gene stays engaged with this fight between Na'Vi and Liquid. No, Res could come in from Boostic. As Gen G's holding on to
That's
this
a good
edge here.
blue
That's
zone.
a blue zone. That's a great blue zone. Might get some points here for the Liquid boys as it's being dropped from the top. Rel played. He finds him. Ferris might be able to get the rest on Boostic here as Na'Vi, even though they're down 2, they did get 4 points, but very unlikely to be able to get the 22 that they need.
He heard the footsteps. That was such quick work there by Ferris to take down A-Low, to take down Liquid. But now Falcons also have made their way all the way up north, and they're third partying Gen G, which might open up a little bit of a door here for Na'Vi. They're retreating to the east on foot. And I think they've managed to escape Gen G without them seeing where they've gone. You can see what Falcons is working with right here, not committing to the city just yet, although it looks like Gustav may be sending it in, trying to find at least a foothold in the north that they can then go to. As we check once again, it is 44 alive, dead center of the city, as Gen G will find Na'Vi in the end. They will take them out.
Full Sense also going out here inside that urban warfare, as we talked about before here. Next circle does pop soon. We're going to see where we are going to be ending up. Actually, proper Tgltn urban ending here. And you know what? It's extremely difficult. Oh, Jexi finds Lukarux, and now everyone inside the city knows that it's VP over here in that direction. They could be turning heads. Falcons also driving in, getting involved, getting close.
That is worst case scenario for Virtus Pro to take the knock there. Lukarux will get flushed out as well. Virtus Pro trying to make their way across this road. Corexi trying to jump the fence, almost gets in trouble there, but Kamal's not able to finish him off before he has to reload. So Virtus Pro, and the other news is that Beamy is separated from them. Beamy has not been able to make his way across the road, so he is left sitting here trying to wait for the push as Falcons now will run into Myth. Gustav goes down. The grenades will fall. They'll get him low, and there's the flush as Tgltn will take down Gedrox.
Shots comes in as well for Gedrox going down here, but Gustav being flushed is so unfortunate for them. Myth being 2, Kiss and Scabby to full HP now. But this is such a difficult game to win for VP at this point. Almost impossible unless you have the high ground, biggest building.
If people were paying attention, I mean, obviously Shadow knows that Virtus Pro is up there. Myth knows that Falcons is there, but if they have their ears on, their headphones on correctly, and they hear where the sounds are coming from, they should know that both Virtus Pro and Falcons on the north side. But look at the distance between the two. That roadside, a big line of demarcation. I think the Falcons and Virtus Pro will be comfortable just holding on to the line right now and waiting to see where the next circles decide to take them.
If this develops properly and Vitality is able to hold on to this big building in the middle that has high ground, that has everything. Perfectix finds him before he hits the deck. And Dogma is down to just being the last player. Full 3 gear and Perfectix. And with the Lings in hand, he's going to be able to do some damage in this one. Our defending esports World Cup champions. Currently sitting in 6th place, trying to get to that triple digits, to get close, to secure more points for the club championship of this team. It's very unlikely, almost impossible, I would say, at this point here, even for the points available for the next 3 games, for him to win it again. So we're not going to see a back-to-back from Twisted Minds in PUBG Battlegrounds.
It's tough, as it looks like Twisted Minds just going to aggressively take this fight against Vicious, knowing that they are ahead of them. Like to take them out. They've managed to get the knock on a POW. They knew exactly where Simon T and Duckmai were, but could not find a way to pin them out. That is the problem with fighting in these urban environments, is you can get a knock, but flushing that knock once you've gotten it is so hard. And now Simon T able to get to POW, see if he gets him back on his feet. As we see 17, they're going to send it into the south side of the city, just boldly going through. Shadow will take down one of them. Tgltn and Wembo will be able to get inside the city. Lil Ghost providing support from the south.
And that building I was talking about before with Vitality, losing a player, losing Getrox, that's so unfortunate. Now it becomes almost impossible to defend. It's a massive building, but you have that roof access, and that's what they go for here, thinking that they might be inside that last part of the circle. But Tgltn finds Duckmai for the headshot. Vicious loses another player.
That was really nice work by Tgltn. It looked like Duckmai was trying to go for that sneaky flanking angle, but Tgltn sniffed it out. Veteran player that he is. They know exactly where these Vicious boys are, and that's a great grenade. Bounces off the wall and takes down POW. Simon T now the last player left alive for Vicious.
Can he do something? Gets the flush there, and now they're going to just rush him. They probably have no idea he's in this corner here. He's just waiting for it. They're playing it very meticulously correct here with Simon on the corner. Finds one, finds Tgltn. Now the other guys are going to swing. He's going to try to go for a stun grenade on the hand here. Stuns himself a little bit. Duckmai goes out, shotgun in hand, but Perfectix gets it. And Twisted Minds gets another kill on another point on the board.
See if they can get this revive up. Gen G has kind of sent D and Soul around on this northern side. They heard the shots, they saw the kill feed, but they get shot at themselves, so can't make that full commitment to the straight up push. Instead, they'll just try to put themselves in position to maybe catch Twisted out, and they're looking in the opposite direction. While all this is going on, Falcons and Virtus.pro still 3 up. Beamy has not been able to make his way across the road to rejoin his squad. Shadow still keeping eyes on that. So keep eyes on their situation as these circles progress. Batu able to get across that line and get to cover thanks to the smoke and thanks to support from his teammates.
We know how crucial it is to win games when you're all 4 alive here, but urban endings just makes it so difficult.
It's such a crapshoot, isn't it? You never know. I mean, you could all the best laid plans, and it could just come down to a smoke battle in the middle of a field with 20-something players left alive. As Shrimzy is going to get knocked by D, but that should be a fairly easy res here for Falcons. Good news is even if they lose helmets or they lose armor, they're still inside of these facilities that probably re-up. But look at Virtus.pro. They've actually managed to get everybody back over here. Oh, Beamy going to take a lot of damage, though, from Shadow, and he's going to get knocked. He tried to send it across, but Shadow, so patient, waits till the very end, and they will take down Beamy. So now Virtus.pro down to just 2.
Now next circle does pop here, Porter. Do we end up where in the middle where we're thinking, are we getting a hard shift here towards the later stages of the game? That's going to get really tied onto that big building that Vitality is locking in. And close to that courtyard in around the open space in the south and west side here. We're going to have a big fight between 17, T1, and GK eventually. AGL is out. Twisted Minds going to have to move in alongside Gen G on the northeast side. This VP and Falcons is actually in the same area. Looks like VP is setting up for a defense towards Falcons. So we see them here on screen, and AGL and Shadow continues to have an impact in the lobby.
You see that kill feed lighting up. That is going on the south side. So a few knocks coming through. Most of the many of those likely to get revived once again. But this is the story right here. Falcons, how can they make their way into this next zone? You see Nixie, shotgun in hand, holding up. But the problem right now is Kiss, all by himself with that high ground, is causing Falcons a lot of problems as they try to make their way through the smoke. But Kiss can just kind of see above it. And Falcons have to re-rack here, trying to figure out if they can find a way to get back in here. And Corexi still on the other side of the street here for VP as well, so he may have
that's a great angle.
Yeah, there you go. You can see what he's looking at. And if Falcons are lucky. Shribsy gonna take the spray. Yes, Correxy will get the knock. Can he get the flush as well? He can. Kickstart gonna go down as well to Nixie. And now Falcons down to just Tgltn with the Panzerfaust in hand.
Luzon goes out as well. Utilities being committed to get Falcons stopped here. They do not want them to continue on this chase here as Nixie gets the confirmation on Kickstart, making it practically impossible with Na'Vi out for anyone to catch them, as second and fourth is already dead. Tgltn being that last player. Luzon on top of the roof here. That's smart for a double one. He's going to force him on the low ground, and he has a Panzer in his pocket. He could get 1 point and stop Nixie from doing any more damage to Tgltn.
See if Kiss gets involved. He's still on that roof side. Yep, he's looking, and that's going to do it for Falcons. They go out in 10th place. Now Virtus Pro know that they have lost all of the teams that are chasing them. They can play with a lot more freedom here.
Scabby finds Quizzy. As Twisted Minds goes down in 9th place, making placement points activate here. Scabby having an impact vitality. They have that central location, and they are pushing it.
Genji take an L on the way in, but that knock on the vitality, as you said, opening up a little bit of a door here. Nixie will get spotted out by Kiss. Kiss causing so much havoc from this high ground position, but he is all by himself. So Scabby has been taken down. Shadow Esports, meanwhile, they've been hanging out on the western side of the city for so long, and they still get to hold on to this building for a little bit longer. As Corexy try to go fishing with dynamite, see if he can maybe find somebody, get a little bit of some measure of revenge here on Shadow before having to make his way in.
There's a lot of the road that's in place still here. The big corner of that building, the courtyard in the open here. So you really need a lot of smoke. So you have to hold on to that utility, especially if you have more lethals that could have such an impact. Once all the teams are going to have to get out in the open, what it looks like, we're going to be finishing on the corner of this big building, as you see from the bird's eye view. As Corexy finds Setsuna on Shadow. He's trying to really get some more points on the board for VP here. Looks like it's impossible for him to cross this without Shadow denying any single step inside.
These points for Corexy really just putting the rest of the lobby on notice, right? Like, they know that Na'Vi is out, Falcons are out, VC is out. All the teams that were nipping at their heels. And Na'Vi, unfortunately for them, going out very early. So not able to really put too much of a dent.
Oh, grenade. Oh, does 42 damage. Now he's going to have to start healing.
Oh, that blue zone's taking too hard.
That's
yeah, he's
so
going to go
much
down.
damage.
Yep, that's going to do it for VP. But job done as far as they're considered. Now we cut over to Genji trying to hold off Myth. They will take down Kiss after Kiss was able to get the res on the Scappy. Let's see if Scappy can maybe return the favor. But Genji will have to get to salute immediately. And look at the building. T1 already inside. Vitality in here as well. Genji have a couple of players. Meanwhile, Shadow Esports just gets a vibe. But there you go. Nice grenade from Scappy. We'll take down Hello My Bad. And that might open up a window here for him to make it in.
Soul finds multiple of T1. He finds Raining and Type as they go down.
The MVP race is still on, and Soul has a little bit more to say about it, but good grenade from EN will take him down, and that's going to do it for Genji, as T1 do lose 2 in the process, but they're up to 6 kills, and they're climbing the leaderboard.
Almost a 4-way tie on 91 and 92 points. 3 teams on 92. Hello My Bad finds Scappy as Smith goes out in 6th place, and more placement points get deployed. Levante with a good ridge. For this one here, it's going to be able to get the utility in for this hit. Oh, Nate's caused 29 damage, not enough. Quizzy continues as Parkpro tries to crawl away from this one. More damage is going to be done here.
Just creeping around like a bug on the roof, but this is anyone's game here. 5 teams remain, 13 alive. City ending. The dot right on top of Quizzy, just inside the building. As we see Shadow Esports are going to lay down the smoke wall, trying to make their way over. Setsuna will go down. Park Pro, Blue nipping at his heels. He knows that he's got Vitality looking directly at him. Try to pop up, take a shot, but he's going to go down to the blue. Handsy going to go down as well, as Shadow has made a way in. Vitality, though, will collect points off of 17 Gaming. They're up to 9 kills. They're climbing the leaderboard, and they have a shot at a victory here in match number 4.
So 3v1, can he do it? Ian with a shotgun. Gets one, gets Hello My Bad.
Oh, the double pump shot. He's only got 4 rounds left. At least secure the point. He will. The rest of Vitality still on the roof. Ian just waiting for them to drop down. Quizzy not going to go all the way just yet. Vitality would love desperately to get this victory. As EN will wait for somebody to push down. He's going to jump down, and there you go. Levante will take him from behind, and that's a win for Vitality here on match number 4.
And that's going to push them into triple digits. It enables the chase on that second place.